The people shown in this video are not real footage, they are AI generated. However, the events depicted are based on real documented facts.
June 16th, 1998. The most dangerous border on Earth. The demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. For 45 years, no ordinary civilian has crossed this line. But today, something strange is happening. 50 trucks are rolling toward the border, and inside those trucks, there are no weapons, no soldiers. 500 cows. At the front of the convoy sits an 82-year-old man. He is one of the richest people on the planet. His company builds ships, cars, bridges, entire cities. But he didn't come here today as a billionaire. He came here to pay back a debt. 65 years ago, in these very lands, a poor 18-year-old farm boy took the money his father got from selling the family cow and ran away from home in the middle of the night. Today, that boy has returned, and instead of one cow, he brought 1,001. Why exactly 1,001? You'll find out at the end of this video. And trust me, the answer will give you chills. This is the story of Chung Ju-young, the founder of Hyundai. And this time, we're telling the story all the way to the end. No loose ends, no forgotten characters. Everything. November 25th, 1915. A village called Tongchon in what is now North Korea. Chung Ju-young is born, the eldest of 8 children in a family of poor farmers. What kind of life was this? The family worked a tiny plot of land, trying to feed 10 people. And in the bad years, and there were many bad years, they survived until spring by eating tree bark and grass roots. That detail comes straight from his own memoirs. Chung barely finished elementary school. Most of his childhood was spent working his parents' fields. And here's the worst part. He knew exactly how his entire life would go. As the eldest son, his fate was already written: inherit his father's land and work that same dirt until the day he died. But one thing changed everything. A newspaper. The newspapers that reached his village wrote about Seoul, a city with construction sites, factories, a place where people earned actual money. For Chung, these were dispatches from another world. At 16, he ran away for the first time. He and a friend trekked through dangerous mountain paths to a construction site in a town called Kwon. He worked there for months. Then, his father found him and brought him home. The reason was simple. Chung was the eldest son, the family's hope. If he left, the family would have no future. He ran away a second time. Again, they found him. Again, they brought him back. For the third escape, he needed money. And in that house, there was money in only one place. The family had one real treasure: a cow. The money from selling that cow, 70 won, was the family's entire savings. One night in 1933, 18-year-old Chung Ju-young took that money and walked out into the dark. In Seoul, he enrolled in a bookkeeping school. A new life was beginning. But 2 months later, his father found him again. And this time, his father didn't yell. He didn't fight. He simply knelt down in front of his son and wept. Chung went home, but in 1934, he ran away for the fourth and final time. This time with money borrowed from a friend. And this time, his father never came looking. The stolen cow money was gone, spent. Chung didn't know it yet, but that debt would follow him for the rest of his life. And 65 years later, he would repay it in front of the entire world. Seoul, a 19-year-old village boy, borrowed money in his pocket. No connections, no skills, barely any education. And behind him, 70 won taken from his father, still unpaid. He took any job he could find, hauling cargo at the docks, laboring on construction sites, factory work, and finally, a job as a delivery boy at a rice shop. And this is where Chung's first superpower showed itself. He simply outworked everyone. Within just 6 months, he was promoted to bookkeeper and accountant. Remember, he had enrolled in that bookkeeping school. The farm boy had trained himself in numbers. And the result? When the shop owner's health began to fail, he didn't hand the business to his own son. His son was a gambling addict. He handed the entire shop to Chung. The year was 1938. Chung Ju-young was 22 years old. Think about that. A runaway farm boy now owned his own business in the capital. He even reconciled with his family, sending money home, proving to his father that his choice had been right. But then, 1939, Korea was a Japanese colony, and Japan, preparing for war, turned the rice trade into a state monopoly. Chung's shop was shut down overnight. Business number 1, destroyed. Not by his mistakes, by politics. Chung didn't quit. In 1940, he borrowed money and bought an auto repair garage, A-Do Service. Business took off. And then, barely a month in, the garage burned to the ground. Everything gone. He borrowed again, rebuilt the garage, paid off every debt within 3 years, and started making real money. Then came 1943. The Japanese government seized his garage for the war effort. Business number 2, gone. Twice he had built something from nothing. Twice it was taken from him. And the biggest trials were still ahead. 1945. World War II ends. Japan is defeated. Korea is free. And 30-year-old Chung Ju-young sees his opening. In 1946, he opens an auto repair business and gives it a name: Hyundai. In Korean, it means modernity. In 1947, he founds the Hyundai Construction Company. Why construction? His logic was simple. In a country destroyed by war and occupation, the most valuable thing you can do is build. The first contracts came from American military bases. Chung didn't speak English, but his younger brother, Chung In-young, remember that name, he matters later, had learned English and became his brother's bridge to the Americans. They liked these two brothers. Fast, cheap, reliable. Then, June 25th, 1950, the Korean War begins. North Korean forces capture Seoul in 3 days. Chung flees south to Busan with his family. The company, gone again. For the 3rd time in his life, everything back to zero. But the war became Hyundai's turning point. In Busan, his brother reconnected with the Americans, and Hyundai became a contractor for the U.S. Army. Here's the most famous story. December 1952. The newly elected American president, Eisenhower, is coming to Korea. The U.S. military gives Chung an impossible task: make the UN Memorial Cemetery green for the president's visit. The problem? It's the middle of winter. Nothing grows. Anywhere. Other contractors shook their heads. Impossible. Chung found a genius solution. He went to the surrounding fields and transplanted winter barley shoots, roots, soil, and all. 30 truckloads of green barley. The cemetery turned green in the middle of winter. The Americans were stunned. After that, U.S. Army construction contracts in Korea flowed straight to Hyundai. But after the war came another test. In 1953, Hyundai won the contract to rebuild the Goryeo Bridge over the Nakdong River. A 195-meter bridge, massive for its time. And then post-war hyperinflation destroyed every calculation. The price of a sack of rice rose nearly 100 times. And the contract was fixed price. Chung faced a choice: break the contract and save his money, or keep building and lose everything. Everyone, even his own brothers, begged him to stop. Creditors stormed his house. His son's earliest childhood memory was debt collectors breaking in. But Chung's answer became one of his most famous lines. Trust is everything to a businessman. The moment you lose trust, it's all over. His brothers were so moved, they sold their own houses. Chung sold the land under his original garage. They borrowed money at 18% interest, not per year, per month. And in May 1955, the bridge was finished. They spent more than double what the contract paid. And he was proven right. The government remembered the contractor who kept his word. And the next major national projects went to Hyundai. The 1960s and 70s. South Korea begins industrializing at breakneck speed under President Park Chung-hee, and Chung Ju-young rides the very top of that wave. Let me tell you the 3 legendary moves that built his empire. Move number 1, the road. The Gyeongbu Expressway, over 400 kilometers connecting Seoul to Busan. The World Bank told Korea, "You cannot build this." Chung took the largest share of the project. The expressway opened in 1970, in record time. His lifelong habit never changed during construction. Up every morning at 4 or 5 a.m. That road is still the economic artery of South Korea today. Move number 2, the 500 won banknote. In 1971, Chung decided to enter shipbuilding. One small problem: Hyundai had never built a ship. Korea didn't even have a real shipyard. Banks in America and Japan rejected him. So Chung flew to London, to Barclays Bank. The bankers were skeptical. Where is your experience? Where is your shipyard? And then Chung reached into his pocket and pulled out a 500 won banknote. Printed on that note was the Turtle Ship, the legendary ironclad warship Korea used to crush the Japanese Navy in the 1590s. His argument to the bankers? Koreans built ironclad ships centuries before the West. That audacity, plus a photograph of an empty beach in Ulsan where the shipyard would stand, convinced them. Hyundai got the loan, and then did something almost no one had done before: built the shipyard and the first supertankers at the same time. Construction began in March 1972. The first ship was ready in just 3 years. Today, that company, now HD Hyundai, is the largest shipbuilding operation on Earth. Move number 3, their own car. Since the 60s, Hyundai had been assembling Ford cars, but Chung wanted a Korean car. Everyone, including his own government's skeptics, said Korea couldn't build its own automobile. In 1975, the Hyundai Pony rolled out, Korea's first mass-produced car. In 1986, Hyundai entered the American market. At first, Americans laughed at Korean cars. The quality was rough. Today, Hyundai Kia is one of the top 3 automakers on the planet. And one more fact. In 1981, it was Chung Ju-young who led the delegation that won the 1988 Olympic Games for Seoul, the event that introduced modern Korea to the world. At its peak, the Hyundai Group united 86 companies: cars, ships, construction, electronics, chemicals. In 1996, Forbes ranked him the 9th richest man in the world. The farm boy who ran away with his father's cow money now owned one of the largest business empires in Asia. But one thing never left him alone. For 65 years. The debt. Remember the question from the beginning of this video? Why exactly 1,001 cows? 1998.
Chung is 82 years old. His home village is in North Korea. His father is long gone. The country is split in two. Going home is impossible. Chung spent years negotiating with the North Korean government, and he reached a historic deal. In June 1998, he crossed the border with 500 cows. In October of that same year, he returned with 501 more. 1,001 total. So why not just 1,000? Here's the reason. 1. For the original cow, he took 65 years earlier, and 1,000 as the interest, the debt, repaid 1,000 times over. Chung said it openly. These cattle were reparation for his father's cow, taken back in 1933. And this wasn't just a beautiful gesture. This event melted the ice between two Koreas. Because of Chung's cattle crossing, the Mount Kumgang tourism route opened. South Koreans visited the North for the first time in decades. And in the year 2000, the leaders of the two Koreas held their first historic summit. World media called it one of the most memorable diplomatic gestures of the century. 1 cow's worth of stolen money became 1,001 cows that changed history. The circle was closed. March 21, 2001. Chung Ju-young passed away in Seoul at the age of 85. He left behind a colossal empire, and the greatest rags to empire story in Korean history. But we're not done. One question remains. What happened to the empire he built, and to the one dream he never fulfilled?
So what happened to the empire he built? After Chung's death, the group was divided among his sons, a power struggle Korea called the War of the Princes. But the empire didn't shrink, it multiplied. Today, Hyundai isn't one company, it's a family tree of giants. Hyundai Motor Group, now one of the top 3 automakers on Earth. HD Hyundai, the largest shipbuilder in the world. Construction, steel, department stores, and more. All of it grown from one farm boy's seed. Their combined value? Hundreds of billions of dollars. The runaway who left his village with stolen cow money built something that outlived him by decades and still shapes the daily life of an entire nation. But there was one thing all his billions could never buy. His home village, Tongcheong, is still in North Korea. After the 1,001 cows, after melting the ice between two nations, Chung still never got to return home for good. He never lived in his childhood house again. The man who built ships, cars, highways, and bridges across the world could not build a road back to the place he was born. It remained his only unfulfilled dream.
Chung Ju-young titled his own life story, Born of This Land. 3 lessons from his life. 1. He lost everything 5 times. The shop, the fire, the war, the seizures, the inflation. And 5 times he started from 0. The difference? Every time he asked not what did I lose, but what did I learn? 2. Reputation is worth more than money. That bridge he finished at a devastating loss became the key to 50 years of contracts. 3. Pay your debts, even if it takes 65 years, even if it takes 1,001 cows. His mottos were these: diligence will overcome all difficulties, and conviction creates unbeatable effort. A person's potential is limitless. Now, a question for you. If you were in Chung's place, would you have taken your father's money and chased the dream, or stayed in the village? And tell me, whose empire should we uncover next? The orphan who slept in a train station and built Zara, Amancio Ortega? Or the man everyone called a failure until age 52, Ray Kroc of McDonald's? Vote in the comments.